So the app cut me off. It was better than the first time I tried to use YouTube Live, and honestly, this was some basic testing here of this feature. I'm gonna plug this guy in here. But yeah, no, the app just died. It just at least I got through the first minute. It gave me almost an hour, and that was nice. Why are you? Oh. All right. Well, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I'm trying to do too many things at once, of course. Not really. I can read and do my makeup at the same time. So the Pareto distribution article on Wikipedia is a hefty article. Let's see here. There we go. Is a hefty article. And I don't expect many people to like flock to it and read it at all. Okay, I don't. I would be intimidated if this were my first article involving, what do we got here? Some functions. Yeah. Cumulative distribution is pretty easy of a concept. Probability density is harder, and that's something Jordan doesn't really understand, which is weird because he used to be a statistician. I mean, not really. Like, he can call himself that as far as his clinical studies of alcoholism. He studied alcohol and substance abuse in males. Those are his published papers. When Jordan is out here like I'm a scientist, thinking like a scientist, and he's pretending to be a scientist and pretending he makes sense, yeah, he's never been published for any of those kinds of thoughts other than, I want to say, maps of meaning and stuff related to that, which is outdated at best, but was outdated in cognitive and neuroscience by the time he was retiring from U of T into his media presence. So what that means, what I'm claiming it means, because it does mean, is that Jordan didn't correct his theory. Now, by the time he was at U of T, the homework for Maps of Meaning was the self-authoring program. And there was going to be a test. And I'm not 100% certain what the book was, if they were reading Maps of Meaning or if they were reading some other book for that course. But when they were at Harvard, he was having them read Dostoevsky and Solzhenitsyn. So by the end of his teaching career, the course Maps of Meaning was not the same course as when it started, but he didn't update his own theoretical views or correct any of his mistakes. I think he actually got worse in that he wasn't going to get away with teaching the Pareto distribution law, principle, rule wrong at Harvard. He probably wasn't going to get away with that. Now, I'm going to rewatch at some point those lectures and make sure that he doesn't get away with it. I don't believe I've seen him do that. So right now that's kind of a tentative hypothesis about what I've already seen, because I know I'm going to rewatch it, and I know I don't specifically recall whether or not I saw it. I wish I did, but I don't. As far as U of T, it's an absolute dumpster fire by 2017, the Maps of Meaning course. And yes, I'm saying I think he was doing things and getting away with things he would not have gotten away with at Harvard, which is weird how it just sort of works for him. And he can become so much theoretically bad or worse by the end of his teaching career and his theoretical course being taught in front of university students. Professors are expected to get better. Jordan got worse. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. You know, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Like, he degenerated. He's degenerate, like, in a real behavioral way. Like, it doesn't make sense, actually, for him to be saying the things he says for someone who taught decades of that stupid book that he wrote. To never look elsewhere, to know you were wrong, is madness. And he shouldn't have gotten away with it. And he's getting away with it in the public arena, in the information sphere, in whatever market that is, for a guy to become socially popular because he puts on a presentation that makes really dumb men seem really intellectually viable. This is like a horror movie to me. This is horrifying. It's like, I can't be that, you know? I can't do that. Even if I wanted to. Like, a woman is never gonna rise above Jordan Peterson and do the same stuff he does. Be as wrong as he's wrong about things, and no. It doesn't exist, y'all. It doesn't exist. You could be Claire, whatever her name is, of the intellectual dark web or whatever's. And you have like a blog or something, and you're sort of like an underground hero, but like Jordan is a household name. Like, good luck. Good lucky. So, Pareto distribution. I'm not even an expert at this. It's just too easy. Jordan makes it so obvious that like a high schooler could debunk him, and that's not an exaggeration. That's really serious. You know? I think that that's like a big deal. He has a PhD, for sake. He used to teach at Harvard. He had tenure at U of T in one of the best psych departments. And people think he's a brainiac. And it's just made up. He's just making it up. It's fake. He says things that don't make any sense. Uses it for reasons. Like, why he thinks capitalism is a natural system. That's not a joke. He thinks that. He thinks it's a natural system. That it's governed by natural laws. That none of the things he said are right. None of it. And, you know, I guess to critique people who disagree with Jordan for the sake of disagreement, like, maybe figure this kind of stuff out more often than not, because it's valuable. You know, going after the college professor because his math is bad. It's like, whoa. Yeah, you're gonna run into these people who are like, what do you know? It's like, don't you think the prof guy should have known? Don't you see how that's really not okay? How did I do that? It's really not okay to make an icon out of him. It's really not okay. It's really not. And he wants to be this archetype in a society, which is this whole other level of narcissism from Jordan. I just botched this eyebrow over here. I think I can fix it. How did I manage to even do that? Oh, there we go. I would know what he was doing is wrong before ever trying to get away with it, and I would not try to get away with it. Why do people let him get away with it? Like, what is wrong with those people? It's the kind of thing that you can't let be described unless the person describing it really wants to be accurate. Should I just make a giant unibrow? That's kind of what I'm thinking, actually. That's why I did this. Gosh, I might be out of my mind. Oh, wow. Yes, we're going crazy. We're reading Pareto stuff. Now it looks like an ink blot. Hold on. Not yet. Ooh. Okay. Beautiful. Let's see here. No, I'm going to fix that in just a second. Okay, so we're not even through the first paragraph, and I've already had to like put my own footnotes in this article just to understand what it's saying. But essentially, the equivalent in a Pareto distribution, if it isn't the equivalent shape value, which is log base 4 or 5 or approximately 1.16, then it is not an equivalent Pareto distributive model outcome as the 80-20 rule. Okay, and the shape value can be anything in a Pareto distribution. So there's only like one value for a distribution that the rule will apply to. Okay, I'm not calling it the rule, it's the principle. Jordan really doesn't, I don't think he gets it. Based on the things I've heard him say, he's wrong. Okay. It fits a wide range of cases though. So cases, the Pareto distribution is a case, it's not a case rule even. It's a principle that applies to some cases. Okay, that doesn't make it a law, Jordan. That doesn't mean that it's involved. That doesn't mean that it's reflexive of the power law. Like, the power law is involved in this stuff. But these are distinct concepts, like the article says. The power law, the Pareto distribution, and the Pareto principle are all distinct concepts. Jordan pretends they're not. And he calls himself a former statistician. So, millions of people don't really care if he's right or wrong about that. And I use that in my argument that it, you know, for him to be popular, it doesn't matter if he's right or wrong about any of that. And beyond that, he can be wrong. Entirely wrong. And these people just won't notice. Like, he thinks they're his true friends. You know, or if they don't react nicely about it, that he has, you know, every reason to shrug them off. It's like they should be shrugging him off. What are they doing? Like, what is the point of having an icon that can't even do the thing he's an alleged expert at and misteaches people and miseducates people? What is the point of that? To what? Show the women how much smarter the men are? Like, you know, they think they can do that using Jordan if they believe what he says and can't figure out how he's wrong. That, you know, look, the men are upholding this icon because he's so smart. It's like, guys, he's wrong. He's wrong about the math. He can't even do it. You know? He believes in free speech, absolute free speech. Do you know what that really means to Jordan? Have you figured that out yet? It means he can be completely full of crap and use misinformation. The more controversy he has, the more the algorithms are going to like him. I learned today that people on Facebook with higher narcissistic traits have more friends. I think that's an interesting observation. I am gonna really smudge this with my finger. Like, I don't give a crap if it's getting this. Yeah, I don't care if it's getting this like gray everywhere. Yeah. But I want to leave my highlighted spots. So I'm like reverse contouring, sort of. Okay, it's better. Better than just having like a white canvas. I'm gonna do this part after I do my other side. I'm doing Demoness makeup. Yeah, I'm just using that black gunk that I had in the first video. It blends out nicely with that foundation starter pigment stuff, the white stuff that I'm using. So I'm gonna try to blend this unibrow into this sort of smoked out from the inside out. But I definitely want this part, which is, this is like reverse makeup as well. It's like, I want this to be darker, not lighter. Usually you lighten up the corners. Yeah, I want the outside to be lighter and the inside to be darker to make me look really freaky. Okay, definitions. If X is a random variable. Oh yeah, and I'm putting this around my lips too before I do the lip line. If X is a random variable with a Pareto type 1 distribution, then the probability that X is greater than some number X, for example, the survival function, also called the tail function, is given by this big notation thing here. If X is a random variable with a Pareto type 1 distribution, the probability that X, okay, that's what they've got, PR. Even notation is not like a law governed by a rule, governed by anything. There's lots of different ways to do certain things. Wikipedia is not known for the best scientific and mathematical notation, folks. Just, I hate to disappoint you. But it's not. Okay, so we've got the F. We've got the function of X is the probability. They're using X even multiple times in this thing, and that drives people crazy too. So if big X is a random variable with Pareto type 1 distribution, then the probability that big X is greater than some number little x, or the survival function, also called tail function, is given by. You want your function of X to equal, it says, with Pareto type 1 distribution, and the probability is greater. So the probability of big X greater than little x equals let's see here, these are set rules, equals these set rules over here, that X sub m over X in closed parentheses to the sigma given X is greater than or equal to X sub m, and you've got 1 such that X is less than X sub m, where sub m is the necessarily positive minimum possible value of X, big X, and sigma is a positive parameter. The Pareto type 1 distribution is characterized by a scale parameter X sub m, I think that's little x sub m, and a shape parameter little sigma, which is also known as the tail index. When this distribution is used to model the distribution of wealth, then the parameter little sigma is called the Pareto index. That's a lot. even. That's a lot. I don't expect y'all to get this today. Okay. I don't expect it. But let's see. What'd they say, M? Where x sub m is the necessarily positive minimum possible value of x. Okay. Then what is just little x? That's some number. Okay. So you've got the minimum of some number, the necessarily positive minimum possible value for the big X over some number. Some number it could be. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. It's X has got to be greater than the positive minimum value of X. And then you would exponentiate that by the sigma, which is some positive parameter. How would you do that? That sounds completely nuts. How would you do that? Okay, and you want the okay, right. So because this is a probability, there has to be some rule about 1, which really theoretically means 100%. That's totally nuts. I know people are not used to hearing that if you're not into probability theory, that whenever you see like a number 1 and you're dealing with this kind of probability function, it really means 100%. I know, it's crazy. Who does that? Who does these things? But 1, let's see, 1 for x less than, 1 for x is less than x sub m. X less than x sub m. So x sub m is the minimum. Okay. Let me think about that for a second. We'll just buff this out with a finger, because why not? Why not just bleed onto my face? Maybe that would be cuter. No, 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 no. We don't want cute. Let's see. I'm always terrified that I'm gonna do this unevenly. Whenever I contour anything, I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Let's see. I'm a very white demon today. I don't really have like, you know, set demon makeup. Some kind of concept that I do normally. I'm definitely going under my chin. This is gonna be nuts. I have such a good devil chin for a demon. So far I'm just doing like black and white. And my finger. And like an eyeliner brush. Yeah. Right, so I definitely want this line right here to be darkened. I mostly want this to look like exaggerated contouring, and that's fine. To have it be darker down here than how I blended it down, because that's what we want right there, is this kind of oh, maybe I could go a little higher. Yep, but then I want to keep this under here. Well, yeah, sometimes mistakes are useful. Okay, yeah, this is just, I don't know what's happening over here. This is nonsense. I need this to be more, this running this way, but not. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. I always get better definition on this side. Yeah, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Also, if I look like a man while I'm doing demon, I don't really care. And I don't really care that my face is falling off at 40. This is supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen. Let's see. I do like doing the inside of my nose. Making it very dark. I'm still thinking about this probability. Let's see here. When this distribution is used to model the distribution of wealth, then the parameter little sig is called the Pareto index. Okay, I'm 100% certain Jordan does not understand this. In economics, the Pareto index named after Vilfredo Pareto is measured of the breadth of income or wealth distribution. It is one of the parameters specifying a Pareto distribution and embodies the Pareto principle. Okay, that's just the blurb from Wikipedia. So what Jordan did was he lied about the law. The power law is the real law that he keeps lying about because he's calling all kinds of other things basically the law, claiming it does something that the power law does, but the power law is not applicable in any of the scenarios Jordan describes as governed by Pareto. I know that's tough for people who are in love with him. I know. It's very tough. You don't understand why people like me dislike him. And that's tough for us together. You're making it tough for us. He's making it tough for me. And I personally don't care for any of you. And that's where we're going with this. Let's see here. Man, this is just going to be like black. Okay. Why are you crooked? Why are you crooked? There we go. Oh my god, this is some trad goth. We're going full on trad goth. I'm gonna have this very offensive lip. And I'm gonna do some more up here. Demoness. Let's see. The cumulative distribution function. So here's the thing. The tail function can be any positive. It's going to be a set between something above 0, a positive value, minimum possible value of x, some positive parameter is what little sigma is called. Okay. From that all the way up to 1 or 100%. That's how this distribution has any sort of, not increment, but really interval. Because if you have I don't want to get into if you have a 0 case for your positive parameter, that I'm not going to get into that. That's beyond the scope. Okay, that's beyond the scope of this video. But basically, the minimum positive value of your positive parameter from that amount, so some fraction of a percentage of the total, all the way up to the total one whole 100%. Okay? Think of it that way. That's easier than looking at it from almost 0 to 1. But anyway, the cumulative distribution function is different. And this is what most people mean when they say Pareto distribution, okay? They think of it as also like the total 100% in a set of different things, but it's not the same as the distribution that I just explained. Okay, that's like an open interval, and the cumulative distribution is like a closed interval. Okay, for the and that is, interval is correct. Here we go. Interval is a correct terminology in studying all of this. Okay, if you want to understand something Jordan will probably never say correctly, say that. Say the cumulative distribution function is based on a closed interval, and watch Jordan shit his pants. I'm not joking. Okay, the probability density function. It follows by differentiation that the probability density function is this monstrosity of a set of rules. It's a set rule. F of x, so not even f of x, fx of x. So we're going function big X of little x equals, and then you've got all kinds of funness. Let's see. Probability density function is this from here to here, okay? From here to 0, this is what can happen. If you're using this function, this is how it works. That's kind of what's going on. I'm just going to read below the function. When plotted on linear axes, the distribution assumes the familiar J-shaped curve, which approaches each of the orthogonal axes asymptotically. Just put that in your pipe and smoke it for a few minutes. I want this to be kind of uneven. Well, very uneven. All segments of the curve are self-similar, subject to appropriate scaling factors when plotted in a log-log plot. That's a log-log plot. The distribution is represented by a straight line. Oh, it doesn't really give me any more on that. I'd have to go to the whole, If I'm going to get into probability density function, which I'm not, I'd have to go to the probability density function article and read that to you, or pull something out of a book. I have Sham's outlines for probability. I thought about, I'll read that later. I'll just do that. I'll read that later. So I'm not going to go into the PDF probability density function right now and what that means, but it basically is like an infinite Pareto distribution. That it's like applying infinity in a way that will turn something there's another rule in there. I'm going to talk about that later because there's another rule in there that I know I'm going to mess up, or I think I'll mess up right now if I try to do it on the fly. But at least I'm able to say that and say that I'll come back to that. Jordan can't do that. He can't say, I'm not sure, let me come back to that so I know I get it right. He'll just go with it. I hate to be the one, y'all. Yeah. This I'm definitely going to try to do backwards, apparently. Moments and characteristic function. This is under the properties of the Pareto distribution Wikipedia article. Moments and characteristic function. The expected value of a random variable following a Pareto distribution is expected value of big X equals infinity. Infinity, little sigma less than equal to 1. So infinitesimal is what that means. And also for little sigma greater than 1, you're going to have sigma times little x sub m over sigma minus 1. That's the expected value of a random variable following a Pareto distribution. So what does that mean? What is a random variable following a Pareto distribution? What does that even mean? The variance of a random variable following a Pareto distribution is bloop. And the raw moments are bloop bloop. And the moment generating function is only defined for non-positive values t less than equals 0, such that bloop bloop bloop. That's a whole lot of talky. Thus, since the expectation does not converge on an open interval, what did I say? Containing t equals 0, we say that the moment generating function does not exist. Okay. The characteristic function is given by burp burp, where burp 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 is the incomplete gamma function. The parameters may be solved for using the method of moments. So there's conditional distributions, the conditional probability distribution of a Pareto distributed random value variable given the event that it is greater than or equal to a particular number x sub 1 exceeding x sub m, which is that minimum positive value, is a Pareto distribution with the same Pareto index sigma, little sigma, but with a minimum x sub 1 instead of x sub m. This implies that the conditional expected value of it, if it is finite, for example, little sigma greater than 1, is proportional to x sub 1 in case of random variables that describe the lifetime of an object. This means that life expectancy is proportional to age and is called the Lindy effect or Lindy's law. In the case of let me read that again. In the case of random variables that describe the lifetime of an object, this means that the life expectancy is proportional to age. Random variables that describe the lifetime of an object, and it's called the Lindy effect. Okay, hold on. The Lindy effect is that's a real phone. The Lindy effect is a theorized phenomenon by which the future life expectancy of some non-perishable things, like a technology or an idea, is proportional to their current age. Okay, I was gonna say, see, semantics. They'll crush you. They'll absolutely. I almost got crushed. I almost just got crushed by that. I was like, what is? This doesn't make any sense. Like, random variables describe lifetime of object. Like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, the Lindy effect. Okay, so we're talking about things like the future life expectancy of some non-perishable things. I would have not known that. if I had just thought I can trust whatever it says there to my knowledge to what I'm going to assume to think it means. So there you go. You cannot get through this article like that. You will perish. It will subsume you. You will not survive the Wikipedia article. Probably if you're looking into it the way Jordan looks into things. Like, he thinks people owe him, like he's bargaining, you know, this helpful stuff that he does for being wrong, even. He'll look at it that way. I think that's terrible. I think that's a bad deal. I really do. I really think it's a bad deal. Let's see. This is going to be pretty dry. Just want to blend that out a little bit, but not like too much. I wish I had some music in this video. I wish I could just do music in the video. Like, the music I like listening to, and want to listen to, and you can't do that on YouTube, folks. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Blend. This is very trad goth. I really wanted to do this like soft blended demon. Wow. Yeah. Probably gonna take this blender brush and go over my chin line and my jawline too. Yeah, I don't want it to be hard. Yeah, even better if it just makes my mouth look dirty. That's amazing. Also, I like my cleft of my chin. Yeah, there we go. This stuff is like grease. Yikes. What have I got going on under here? Just a little more blending. This is not like the best blending brush for your whole face, but who cares? It is totally good enough. I'm gonna do my temples here in just a second. Yeah, that actually made like a line. Here we go. So, oh, gross. Oh, I love that. Love how gross that is. So I definitely want to blend down the sides of my nose. Oh, yeah, you can see that. I'm doing this in black and white video too. Like, I'm looking at my screen the way you see it in black and white right now. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. That's the name of the game. Let's see. So, we're definitely getting somewhere with this Pareto article and with me giving myself intentional dark circles under my eye and probably blending things before I should and doing a hard contour. I'm going to go down the sides with this, sort of like do I want to break a rule here? I guess I could. I'm already breaking the goddamn rules. Let's just do it. Just going for it. Like, I don't care. I want that line to be softened. And I definitely want it darkened into that corner there. Yeah. And like blending it into the white makes it so much grayer, I think, in my opinion. Actually, this is like so much easier than doing traditional eye makeup. You don't have to care. Yeah, I definitely want this to be softened in a way that doesn't necessarily drawn on like that. I see it right there, that spot. Oh yeah. Yes, we're getting somewhere. Demon, that's what I am. So like the sides of the nose, it's a good place to add your depth contour. Boom, make your nose pop. Looky there. See, if you know the rules, you can make stuff happen and it will be right. And if you don't know the rules, you're going to be screwed like Jordan. But you might make millions of dollars fooling millions and millions of men. Where exactly is my temple? Let's see here. Boom. I want it like right in the middle of that this line right here of my hair. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like right there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So oh, that's definitely happy to be up in my hairline. I want to pull it back. That'll work. Conditional distributions, right. Lindy law, Lindy effect. A characterization theorem. Suppose x, x2, x3 are independent, identically distributed random variables whose probability distribution is supported on the interval close x sub m to infinity open interval. Infinity has to be open. You cannot have a closed interval on infinity. That's one rule. Actually, a real rule that there isn't like a fancy name for in every article, but it's like this rule actually you have to follow. And Jordan, if you do work out the math of what he says, doesn't follow that rule. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. For some x sub m greater than 0, suppose that all n, the two random variables minimum x sub 1 sequence sequentially to the x sub n and some x sub 1 additive sequence to x sub m divided by the minimum, which was x, or the minimum of the set, I suppose, of x sub 1 listed sequentially to x sub n. Okay, suppose that's independent. You don't understand anything I just said. Then the common distribution is a Pareto distribution. That doesn't even have a citation on this Wikipedia article. Ha ha. Tell Jordan to write something so that we can cite him. And let's see if it matches up to the things he has said. If he could get that out as a citation, if he could get it peer-reviewed and published. You see where I'm coming from? They call him a grifter for a reason. It's not just, oh, they disagree and whatever he says that they mean is what people mean. People love that, though. They love being like, I know what you are. I know how you think. It's like, you did not observe that. You were told that. And I know who told you that. Come on. Seriously. Seriously. I hate to be like, people ought to be ashamed, but geez. Where is the shame? Oh, it's just filthy. I know I have more purple in the lip maybe than I anticipated, so I'm gonna go in the lip line with my little black liner. This is really a good lip liner. Maybe it was supposed to be an eyeliner. I don't think it really matters since there's no like standard. Okay, yeah, that's, oh, I got a nice bit of goop right there. Okay. Goop. Somebody's honking outside. Hello. Nice. All right, well, we've been learning Pareto stuff by trying to read the Wikipedia Pareto distribution article, because I've seen too much of Jordan Peterson's content where he demolishes the Pareto principle and the power law and the Pareto distribution without a care in the world, knowing that he's not going to be told he needs to fix that, not even by alleged smart people, not by people at universities. I don't understand why he's allowed to get away with it, honestly. I don't know why people respect it. I don't know why they don't say anything. I don't know why they can't disagree and be very right. You know, is Jordan waiting for that savior that nobody really wants to be because, first of all, they don't want to admit that he's wrong. But second of all, if they were to admit it, it maybe would enrage them. It's pretty outrageous for competitive people who are trying to have a culture where accuracy matters, where inaccuracy matters. They may not be the popular people, you know? And Jordan pretending, oh, he's just not popular. It's like Jordan was a popular teacher, which is just, if you think about everything I said before about how misinforming people maybe, just maybe, makes you popular in a way, not all by itself, but it's like necessary. What if it is? What if you have to be wrong about something? And adamantly wrong about that thing? What if you do? Him becoming popular as a teacher doesn't necessarily mean that he was teaching the best information. People are going to have a hard time, and do have a hard time, believing a professor taught anything inaccurately. It's such a hard time that they won't even care if he did. They won't look for it. They won't say anything. So what are people supposed to do? Just go on being right and being smart, and there's like no reward for that in society at all. If you can't build a coalition of people who are like, yeah, actually, you know, we got to do something for the society now because of this guy. Like, he's so wrong to so many people. And he makes so much stuff up on top of everything else that it's alarming. And it's not about some kind of ridiculous political argument. It's about him getting away with that and miseducating a lot of guys. You know, mostly guys who think they're really smart for liking him and think that he's really right. I don't know how to stress this. You'll see it in my comments. If you look at my comments, and I try to moderate my comments slightly, but my gosh, these guys will come at me without the slightest freaking idea who I am, what I know, what I do. They don't care. They see female disagrees with Jordan, maybe could mistake me for a man. So let's make fun of her for that, and then we'll just keep on pretending that Jordan's right about everything. And there you have it, folks. He sucks. Like, if he were really right about stuff and I were really wrong, I don't even think those people would be that mean. I don't think that it would attract what it appears to attract, the aggression. That's saying something. People are like phenomenologically more aggressive when they're wrong about something. So creating conspiracy theories is saying something about necessitating aggression in people, I think. And Jordan does that in spades. You know? He really does. I think he's aggressive about these ridiculous beliefs he has and wants them to be right. And he'll go down allegedly fighting for it. And under the auspice that he's correct about the theories, it's like, okay, that seems like maybe he's doing the right thing. But if you come to find out that he really doesn't understand what he's talking about and doesn't make any sense, and this is the kind of stuff that he'll allegedly die trying for, it's like, dude. Do we really want men acting like that in society, actually? Like, should he be the icon? And Lex, why aren't you catching on and saying anything about it, actually? Like, why isn't anybody saying anything? Like, oh, it's not my domain. Yeah, is that because you just don't care about people? Why is it? Huh? In your words, in your view of yourself, which isn't going to be right, because you don't care about people. And you'll do anything to cover it up. Look the other way for Jordan, even. All right, I'm sick of this right here. All right, I don't have a lot of phone left, and I'm getting right at an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna take some photos of the finished look and use them in a future video. I hope this just looks so gross to everyone right now. I'm definitely gonna go darker on the corners there. Well, anyway, it was nice talking to y'all, doing my demon face. I think my hair's still wet. I'm gonna put some finishing touches on this. Intentionally older. My hair is wet, yeah, but still. Intentionally older looking demon makeup. I hope I look like a juggalo. I hope I look a little trad goth to some people. I want to get some tooth black out and just like wear it. Let's see. I also kind of want to, yeah, buff it up a little bit on the sides to give me a little more of a smiley deal there. God, this is gonna itch. I got something in my eye. This is gonna itch. Ugh. Yes, I know. I break all the cardinal rules, like touching my eye, rubbing my eye, picking my nose, snorting, burping, farting. I am a demon, so if you watch my channel, shame on you. But we're done here, folks. Check my Insta, which is Surreal Savant Genius, if you want to see how I finish this up, this look today. Trad goth demon, at least partially so far. That's how I think I'm going to finish it, though.